Recording in progress. So first, I just want to make sure it's okay for to record this and share to other potential sellers.
Of course.
Oh, good. Thank you. I had a feeling you'd say that. So let me get my questions together, and this is going to be a lot of fun because we had so many things we did
Yeah.
differently for your family, and that was neat. Um, Hi, I'm Ira Serkes, and we're talking with Jerome Calkins about helping his dad sell the family home so he can move into a retirement community. Hi,
Abs-
Jerome.
How are you, Ira?
Uh, I'm delighted to be talking to you, and such a pleasure. Such a pleasure knowing you and your family. It's been a great experience. Um, it's been an experience. What did you like best about it?
It's not easy to sell a family home as a home that I grew up in. And I think and my family and I were fortunate enough that we had this wasn't our first time selling a home. We had sold my grandparents' home, prior to this. And it hadn't been a great experience. And the biggest difference between the two was you and Carol and how amazing you were and how patient you were. Um, many people might not know this from just our conversation, but I'm located in Los Angeles in Southern California. And so to be able to have you guys handle so much, streamline all of the information for us, and just make it so easy and take the complexity out of it was just far and away the best part. And that was the biggest difference between any other house selling experience we've ever had was your level of communication. It was constant, it was perfect, it was easy, and it just made everything go so smoothly. And I've always be grateful to you both for making that happen.
Wow. I'm not sure I should say anything else. That's
It is.
amazing.
It
Uh,
really is. It really was all of your partners involved were so great. And it just, the one thing my dad talked about, since he's not on this call, I feel like I should speak for him,
yeah.
is how much he felt heard. My mom passed away
You
about
said heard, not heard,
heard that he
right?
felt heard, like he was being listened to, and that he was
Ah,
being and understood, because my mom passed away, the love of his life, and he was having to make decisions about things to keep and things to not keep. These are the tough decisions when you're moving. Are
yeah.
You can't take everything with you. And the team that you set us up with, that was able to help with clearing some things out, to selling some things, they were so understanding and kind, and he was so grateful for that, and we all are, because my mom and dad had things that were around much longer than my sister and I have been alive. And so for him, this was a real life changing, life altering event. And honestly, we're so grateful to you. He's thriving in his retirement
Oh,
community.
I'm so glad to hear
He's
that. I was going to ask you how he was doing.
he's like, he's involved. He's on like the residential board of residents, and he's goes to all these meetings, and it's been such a, again, I've never had a process like this where you sell a house and your life as a result of it. It's a sad situation to sell a family home, and you feel like you're losing your memories, but to have everything come out so well, in terms of his quality of life is so much better. He's getting so much more medical care and physical therapy than he ever did just being in his home. And it was time, it was time. And you
Yeah.
and Carol made that happen for us, and we're so grateful, honestly.
Well, listening to you, it kind of made me think of my mom. She was spent. She ended up by going to a nursing home, but for the last many years, she was in a one-bedroom apartment. I grew up in the Bronx, And
Yeah,
I remember what happened. I'd go visit her, and you could tell she was depressed. And my mom is not a depressed person. And I said, "Okay, we're going for a ride." And she said, "No, I don't go anywhere." I said, "I don't care. We're going for a ride." And I can lift her. I could see her spirits lifting, 3 miles down the road. And it sounds like the
absolutely.
same exact thing happened to your dad. It almost like it gave him a new life.
100%. It was like he was alone. There were days he didn't want to get out of bed. His parents had just died. His wife died. My sister lives in Newark. I live in Southern California. And so, a lot of his friends have been passing away, and this gave him an opportunity. And look, the truth is, we're fairly educated people, Ira, but we don't know anything about selling a home. The
Yeah,
complexities of it and what goes into it and everything else, you think, okay, yeah, we got to move things out and everything. You don't really realize the heavy
yeah,
lifting of all of it. And really, when you have people that help you understand things like timelines, that help you understand documents you have to sign, that help you understand this is how we're clearing, this is what we can do, this is how we can stage it, this is how we can put some money into it to get to get the price you're looking for. This is the season. All of these things, I feel like I'm more knowledgeable about the process than I ever was before. And like I said, we just got done selling my grandparents' house 7 houses away up on Eureka, in 2018. And it was a completely different experience. You guys came in and handled it perfectly. If there's anyone I ever know, hell, I'll have you come down and sell houses in Southern California, Ira. But there's anyone I know in the
uh,
Bay Area that I can point in your direction, I will. Even just to talk about the process, even if they're not sure they're ready, I will always send them your way
oh
because you make
man.
it so simple.
Wow. Thank speaking about heavy lifting, Carol and I work together as a team and we take on different roles during the transaction. What were the highlights about working with each of us?
Carol she's like a mom, man. She really is, like it's like you and I are talking, and it's like, it's funny that you're from the Bronx, because of course my uncles grew up in Astoria, Queens, and trained
Oh
me,
yeah.
and raised me as a Yankee fan before, we settled in the Bay Area. But, and we can talk business like no problem. Carol she's the sort of the mom that comes in. And I think for my dad and I, not having my mom, being able to have someone like Carol come in and say, hey, you know what, this is going to be hard. This is going to be the hard part. The hard part's going
Uh,
to be getting rid of the mementos, the possessions that
yeah.
you can't take. When you're going to assisted living, you know um like I said, there's not room for everything.
Yeah.
And you have to sort of, what Carol was really good about. And I apologize if I get a little emotional, because it
Oh,
really,
I'm starting to get all misty.
what Carol, she said something to me I'll always remember. And she said, the stuff gives you memories, but the stuff isn't the memories. The
Yeah.
memories are the memories, and you're always going to keep those, and you're always going to take those with you. And when you look at it that way, and you see it kind of from that clarity, and you take a step back, you realize that's exactly right. The dishes, the Christmas decorations, all that was a really big, important part of our time in our lives. But the memories don't go anywhere. We get to take those with us.
The memories are priceless and they don't take
Mhm.
up any room.
No, they don't. And this is what needed to happen. This was the timing of all of this was perfect. And so to have Carol come in and be able to sort of get us through really that process of it, and then have you come in and say, okay, here's where, and be so pragmatic and make it so easy. Like, there's so many documents. I mean, I'm an attorney by trade, so I read
Yeah, yeah.
everything.
You read
So
everything.
to have people say, hey, this is what this means, you know so that I'm not having to read through it to summarize it myself. And everything was just so well laid out. And you guys are such a killer team, that, like, the chemistry is there. I was able to meet you at my house. I was able to meet you in the office. You always made time for me. You worked on my schedule, which, like I said, when you don't live within driving distance of a
Yeah.
few minutes to a property you're selling, it's such a big deal. And it honestly, we would never have sold this house without you guys. Like I'm 100% convinced. Like there's no question. Like that we never would have gotten off the ground without you.
Oh man. I have to tell you, this is so good. We're running out of my Zoom time, so what we're gonna do. Don't worry, don't go anywhere.
I talk a lot, Ira. I'm sorry, turning my
No. I'm gonna just pause it for a moment and let's log back in because I don't want to
Sure.
miss a word.
Sure.
So hold on just a minute, and
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
I will.